Hey, fellas, summertime is right around the corner. All right. You know what that means. When the sun comes out, the body starts smelling a little funny. You don't want to get caught up this summer. This podcast is stationed in Arizona, so you know how hot it gets here. So I wouldn't tell you something that doesn't work if I didn't use it myself. You don't want to get caught up this summer with your shirt off or your pants down and you smell like a haunted house. You smell like the deck of a pirate ship. You smell like a fisherman's sweater. You don't want that. But I got something for you to make sure that doesn't happen to you. Mando, it works. I used to see the commercials and the ads and think 72 hours of order protection? Nah, it actually works for 72 hours. It makes a world of a difference on them hot days before you hit the gym, before you go outside, before you do anything where you may be outside for an extensive period of time due to the heat. It feels good to be able to take your shirt off or pull your pants down and you don't smell like the driveway of a construction site. My favorite is the whole body deodorant spray. It works. You just pull your pants down, pull them to the side, one spray, pull them to the side, another spray, lift them up, spray under the carriage. Oh, the guys know what I'm talking about. You got to spray under the carriage. Get your transmission. If you support this podcast, you'll support Mando. That's what I need you to do. I need you to go to shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com. And I need you to use the promo code SNEAK. 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 Go in there, get $5 off your starter pack. Your starter pack will come with a solid stick of deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice. You can't beat that. You get $5 off your starter pack with our exclusive code, SNEAK, SNEAK. That's your exclusive code. That's 40% off your starter pack, and you get free shipping. And if you listen to this podcast and you buy a lot of sneakers, you know we love free shipping. I'm telling you, 72 hours it works. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all madness. Okay. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to a $200,000 bracket contest, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. Please bet responsibly. Yo, Sneak This Podcast, episode 381. Just me today, in the closet today. Pause. We'll be back next week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. George will be back in the studio. Obviously, shout out to Don for holding it down. George has been out. But I had to get an episode out this week. I'm not going to apologize for not having one out earlier because I was on vacation with my family. That's much more important than this podcast, but I do appreciate everybody who likes, subscribes, share this podcast, and I appreciate everybody who looks forward to these podcasts. So I do want to, and I know I say this probably every single episode, is we want to get back to doing weekly episodes, but we do want to get back to doing weekly episodes, and, sneaker topics just haven't been cracking like they used to be. But we do our best in what we can, and we've been able to provide content for, I think we just, next week. Next week will be 9 years of this podcast, I believe. Maybe 10, maybe 9, maybe 8. I don't know. But, we've held it down for a really long time. We've inspired others to start podcasts and, seems like it may be put in good hands, So it may be time for me and George to ride off in the sunset. But, we'll see. But for now, we here. We in the building. So, Appreciate everybody who likes, subscribe, share this podcast. Got a few things I want to talk about today. Obviously, when I do podcast episodes in the closet, I always like to unbox something. So if you're listening to the podcast through your vehicle, you may want to head to a computer as fast as you can or get to your workstation and act like you're working when you're really watching the podcast. I'm good with it. But I'm going to unbox two boxes that I've had sitting in the garage for quite some time. One of these has probably been sitting in the garage for almost a month, maybe a little bit longer. Took me a minute to find it. And then another one I just got last week. But I put it in another car and then I couldn't find it. And then right now I found it in another box, which was close because I throw a lot of boxes out and this one could have easily got tossed with it. So I don't know what's what. I know what's in the box. Actually, I'll put it this way. I know what should be in the boxes. Okay. I've ordered from Nike before and the box has said Air Max 1 on it, and I've opened it and cleats were inside of it. So I've had some mishaps before. I always said to myself that I need to open my boxes immediately when I get them because of situations like that. I'm sure I'm not the only person who's ordered from a company and the box said one thing and something else was in the box completely different. So I need to get better at that, but I'm going to actually, like when I say unboxing today, like I'm unboxing today. Like it is straight out the shipping box. All right. So I don't know which is first, but I'm going to go ahead and just crack this joint open if I can with my bare hands. Oh, that was pretty easy. Probably way too easy. All right. So I got, looks like AirTech Challenge 2s. These have been sitting in the garage since they released. However long that was, maybe about a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. I don't know, but I had to get them. If you listen to this podcast, you know I am an AirTech Challenge 2 fanatic. You'd be hard pressed to find some AirTech challenges that I don't have. Obviously, there's still a lot that haven't retroed yet, and there's still some that they're not out of my price range. I'm just lazy to go get them. So, but these are I think these were called Hot Pink, maybe Lava Pink, Hot Pink, Racer Pink. That's what they were. I do like the OG box. This is fire. Go ahead and open this up real quick. Show them on camera. Oh. And if you listen to this podcast, you know the AirTech Challenge is the greatest sneaker of all time. To me, AirTech Challenge 2 is the greatest sneaker of all time. To me, okay? I think I've done some all-time lists with George. You know what? Me and George may have to do a revamped list. And I think I had AirTech Challenge 2s at number 1 or number 2. Either way, over the years, they're my number 1. Like, there's nothing more perfect than an AirTech Challenge 2. The colors is awesome. I love this vintage look right here. I know some don't like the vintage look on the outsole, but I'm sorry. You know, a lot of cats running around talking about they got the OGs and stuff like that. Well, you know what? The OG look on, a newer, obviously fresher, it's okay. You can buy your reimagined Jordans. You can buy your reimagined Nikes and retros and stuff. They are stupid fire. And these right here, these getting put on the feet immediately. All right. I think I'm going to have to take these joints to Miami because these joints are stupid clean. All right. So that's the AirTech Challenge 2. Who is this calling me? Don't know that number, so I'm not going to answer it. But, man, looks like good leather. Obviously, you got to smell it. Ooh, okay. I highly recommend buying these. And I've been seeing them on sale. Obviously, I paid retail for them from Nike. I'm not going to say I regret it, but, it's always good to pay, a better price for a sneaker if you have the opportunity. I've been seeing Soul Links and stuff going out with 20% off, 30% off of them. If you didn't cop, hey, that's your opportunity, man. Go out there and cop, all right? All right, and then this one that I'm about to open is a Devin Booker. I do know that. It's the, I think it's the Moab. I think that's what it's called, Moab. It's not ACG. I think the ACG ones either already came out or they're not coming out. I have no idea why this Nike box is barely closed. But, things are happening. All right, so, the book box, just the box, the book one, SE, sesame black, etc., turquoise, whatever that other color is, mandarin, bright mandarin. This is, I'll tell you this, okay? The book one, even though only so many colorways release, he has over 30 colorways that he's worn this season. Okay. The colorways, some of them are very bright, vibrant. Some of them actually have a little bit of personality, but this box does not match the personality of his sneakers. Like, if you're gonna come out with that many colorways and that many special sort of like odes to other sneakers, your box should match it. Your box should have a little flair to it. To me, all right. Let's go ahead and open these. I think I had originally planned on taking these with me on vacation with my family. Um, Here they are. Um, they're okay. Actually, you know what? Let me put it this way: they're actually really nice. Okay, the book shoe to me is, uh, I love it. I'm a huge fan of the book shoe. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this colorway on the shoe. I get it; it's an ode to the Moabs, um, but Moabs is a hiking outdoors, sort of sector of Nike. I don't know if I wanna see that on my basketball sneaker. Now, can I wear these casually? Casually, yes. You can wear the book one pretty casually. I've done it a few times with the ones I have, and it works out just fine. I don't know if I would want to wear an ode to the Moab on a basketball sneaker. I think if I was really wanted to set my mind to it and wear these colors, I would go buy the Moab, the actual, try to find the OG or a version on eBay with this color palette, because to me, this color palette fits outdoors in that hike look. This is a basketball sneaker. This looks like I would hoop in a hiking shoe. Um, but I don't know. I keep a lot of stuff, so I can't sit here and say that I'm not gonna keep this. I thought about it. I said to myself, if I get these and I don't like them, I'll return the Nike, but I don't know. There's something about them that I like, and Book is a hometown favorite. And I have about 3, 4 pairs of Books. I don't got nearly as many as Andy, but you know, I don't know. We'll have to see. I have to think about it. So that's my book. Those are my unboxings. So pickups, other pickups. Let me think. I don't think I have any other pickups. I will say I have some try-ups. I tried for something I tried for Union Ones. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was a little disappointed I didn't get the Union Ones. Not in the sense of like I was literally dying for them, because I've said on this podcast numerous times, they don't look that good to me. I've said it on Twitter a few times. They don't look that good to me. I will say though, now that everybody has theirs in hands and I've seen a few people wear them, they look a little bit better. I go, okay, they're okay. I've never been a huge fan of the Chicago one anyways. So when the off-white Chicago ones came out, I wasn't like, oh my gosh. I was a bigger fan of the Carolina ones, of the off-white. Chicago OG ones, yeah, I had them, or maybe have them, the highs, I don't know. But I like the low top version of Chicago ones because I feel like that colorway of how the Chicago one is blocked looks better in the low top. I don't know why. It just does to me. I don't like the way the black toes, Jordan 1 black toe looks better in a high than it does the low top to me. There are some colorways in the Jordan 1s and the OG ones that look better as a high and better as a low. Um, so I did try for the Unions, and the only reason why I'm saying I was a little disappointed I didn't get them is because I feel like there was a large amount of pairs out there. I think like anytime that we get confirmation or we get some sort of heads up that like, oh my gosh, there's tons of pairs out there, I just expect to get one all the time. I do. So when I actually didn't, I was kind of annoyed. Now I will tell you this. They made it seem like the Union drop was going to be first come, first serve. Now, it's been a really long time since I've actually sat on a site and watched the countdown clock go down. Now, I didn't jump into the countdown clock until about 5 minutes, but I sat there that entire 5 minutes looking at that clock, thinking that like first come, first serve. Come to find out, the timer goes out and it's enter your email for a raffle. I didn't like that. Okay. And, I'm always paranoid with the raffles. Like, to me, okay, when you enter a raffle like that, I don't care how fast the results are going to come out. If you enter your email into a raffle, you should get some type of email confirmation. Now, and the only reason why I say that is because whenever I don't hear back or something, I'm always thinking, "Oh crap, maybe I typed my email in too fast and I missed a letter or I forgot, the underscore or something, and now they have a different email under my raffle entry." I always think that. Usually, I'm always double and triple checking when I enter my raffles, but sometimes these raffles will end and you don't know, so you're just trying to go as fast as you possibly can. I always find myself going ridiculously fast, and then I'm like, well, I didn't get a confirmation that I'm entered the raffle. I didn't get, you know, they didn't say I want a pair. I'm thinking, oh crap, maybe I just typed my email in too fast and my entry isn't incorrectly. Anyways, I didn't get a pair. I didn't like it. Um, but I moved on. I already moved on. I don't know what they're going for retail. I would never pay retail for them. Um, I just wouldn't. The Chicago one low is coming out later this year in September, I think. And I plan on buying 2 pairs of those. I need those. I got nothing. I don't need a Chicago high or a Union high. I would only be buying the Union high just to have that version of the Union high. I have a Union high, the woven pattern one. I have that one, and but I really wanted one of these ones that are like sort of the ode to the like OG ones that they came out with the black toe and the blue toe or whatever you want to call it for the other Union. So I didn't get it, but it is what it is. That's my try up, and I have entered in probably 15 raffles for the Jordan 4 brick by brick. Um, I need these. I've already established and said to myself, I'm going to pay resale for them. Okay. Now I'm not jumping past 500, but I'm going to pay some resale money for these. And when I say I'm going to pay resale money, that means I'm going to sell something back here. I'm going to sell some nonsense up to that resale price and get them. I have hundreds of sneakers I've never worn before. I can get rid of something to get something that I really want. And I really want these. Okay. Like I said, I've downloaded a lot of apps for sneaker raffles that I didn't have before. Okay. I've downloaded apps from overseas stores, apps from local stores. I've downloaded so many, and I just thought about it right now. I forgot to go to Manor. Yeah. I think they did in-person raffle for them, and I forgot to go today. I meant to go on my lunch and forgot to go. Shout out to Manor, man. Shout out to Manor for getting them. Manor is coming up, man. Like y'all, pretty soon y'all may see some Manors in some other states, man. They really doing their thing out here. But I did Feature, I did Foot Patrol, Packer, Undefeated. Um, what other ones? Asphalt. Everything Go or whatever that. I had never even heard of that store. I don't even know. I've done so many that I've lost track of them, and I'm like, all right, I gotta get one. I did End. Um, what are the other ones? Kith. I did Kith. I've done so many raffles for these Jordan 4 Nigels, brick by bricks, that I'm gonna lose track. I hope I win every single one. I know that's not possible. Some stores that I entered the raffle on, I had to do a size that they didn't have. I tried to get my 9.5. I had to do like a 10.5 or something. And obviously, I'm gonna use that size to trade to a resale shop and get my pair, or sell it to get my pair, whatever it takes. But some stores didn't even get full size runs. So that's how these are out here. And we're gonna talk about that a little bit towards the end. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and do releases. Make sure we do releases. See what comes out this week. Obviously, the big one comes out which week, which is the Jordan 4 brick by brick. But we're gonna go through the lists and make sure that we supply our listeners with my opinions on what comes out this week. I know that's your favorite part of the show. All right. Today, the New Balance 991 V2. The Salehi Benberry collab, the colors B, the palette. That released today. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. I like this a lot. I like the model, and I like the colorway a lot. So, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit later. All right. We also have a Avanti. It's a Puma Avanti LS stitched lime sheen. It's a Fenty collaboration. It looks like Fenty has a few that are dropping this week. What is this? Is this the right list? Man, I'm looking at the wrong list. Okay, let's start this over. All right. So once again, this is Alehi Bemberry, like I said. That dropped today. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. Song for the Mute, Adi Star, Cushion Simple Brown. George and Andy them have been sending this in the thread. I'm not a fan of this sneaker. I don't think it looks bad, but the colorway is awful. I'm not a fan of, and I think that's why I'm not super high on these. And I think I've talked about it on this podcast before. Brown does not go on basketball sneakers. It doesn't go on running sneakers. It doesn't go on athletic sneakers. Brown, to me, is strictly for boots, dress shoes, and casual shoes. So brown on an athletic sneaker is just not really my thing. Brown on a running sneaker or a workout sneaker? No thanks. All right. The Spiridons dropped today. I'm wearing my Spiridons right now. I mean, don't even try to fake the funk stunt on me with Spiridons. I'll pull out about 8 or 9 Spiridons on you. All right. But the royal blue pair dropped today. Like I talked about earlier, the Fenty, the Puma Avanti LS stitched. There's a few colorways. I'm not mad at these. I don't think they're bad. I'm not exactly sure how I would wear them, but I think I could freak them if I wanted to. Shout out to my dog Rick. Obviously tomorrow, the Nigel Sylvester Jordan 4 OG brick by brick. I mean, we're gonna talk about it at the end, later during the podcast. All right. We got the Nike Foamposite 1 Black Volt. Shout out to the homie Cadillac Jackson. He just posted his picture of wearing one, tagged me in it. I reposted it. Shout out to him. Concepts, New Balance 1000. I am not a fan of this New Balance 1000 model. I've seen it on foot a few times, and I didn't think it looked that bad in person. But I don't know, man. This to me is beneath Concepts. They need to get their act together ASAP. All right. We got a Zoom X Vaporfly Next 4%. You know, that running one. I really love this shoe. And it looks like one of those shoes that you would think like, oh, I want to buy it and put it on casually. But it's strictly made for running. I think these shoes are disposable. Like you can only get so many miles out of them. They're built for strictly running. We also got a couple of Nike Astro Grabbers. Bode. I think that's the collaboration. Bodie, I think it's Bode. There's a black pair and a green pair. We got a Curry Flow 12, Pisces. I love this Curry model. This to me might be the best Curry model of all time. The colorways they've dropped so far, they've been okay. Nothing too crazy out there, but this Curry Flow 12, I love this model. We got another Mellow Ball, MB04 Golden Child. What's funny is that it's all gold and it doesn't look that bad. He had another gold version of like maybe the MB1 or MB2. And I didn't think it was that bad. But man, like he's gonna have to figure out how not to be tacky. Okay. We got Jordan 9 Cool Grays. You know I am not a fan of those. I do not like cool gray on Jordans. The only cool gray Jordans that matter to me, and I don't even know if I call them cool. You know what? Let's do this. Actually, cool gray 4s are fine. I like cool gray 4s, but I hated them at first. The only reason why I liked them is because I saw Blanc, shout out to the homie Blanc, put white laces in them. I copped immediately. The white laces breaks up the cool gray for me on the Jordan 4 in a way. Okay, I've had cool gray 3s. I didn't like them. Cool gray 9s, no way. Cool gray 11s, absolutely not. Cool gray 11s might be my least favorite Jordan 11 of all time, and that's no joke. Now, look, I love Wolf gray 5s, and I like Cement, that Paris wet cement 4. I like Flint 12s. But don't come talking to me about no cool gray. I ain't trying to hear it. All right. Looks like Adidas got some sort of metamorphosis pack. The Anthony Edwards AE1 low is cool. The rest of these, they suck. Not necessarily the model, but the color, they suck. Looks like some salmons dropping. I'll never talk about salmons on this podcast. Not until at least I hit 50. Okay. I don't care if you are young and you wear salmons. All right. I don't care if you are a hipster and you wear salmons. That's fine. Do your thing. And you can sit there and talk to me about they're so comfortable. That's an excuse a lot of people use. A lot of people love using that for following trends. They buy the salmons, they buy the on clouds, they buy the hokas to be on trend, and their excuse for it is they're so comfortable. And then last, New Balance 990 Shohei Ohtani signature collection. These suck. So these are beneath him. Okay. I'm not mad at the model. I don't understand why they're green. I mean, he plays for the Dodgers. Well, let me explain something to you. Okay. These New Balances are beneath him. Okay. New Balance better be, I'm talking in the lab. He's the greatest baseball player, arguably, of all time. And it's not even close. All right. Actually, let me put it this way. Mike Trout, Barry Bonds is the greatest of all time to me. Okay. But Mike Trout is probably the greatest baseball player of all time right now. But Shohei Ohtani in about, I don't know, I'll give him 2 more years, will be the greatest baseball player of all time if he can stay healthy. And that's no joke. To me. And that is Dodgers bias. And that is just common sense if you just open your eyes and watch. To me. That's releases. Appreciate everybody who likes, subscribe, share this podcast. I wanted to go back over something that I talked about the other week with Don, because some of you just don't seem to know how to listen. Okay? I saw a lot of comments. I got a lot of DMs about my take on nostalgia. Okay? My take on nostalgia is when I basically said that cats need to grow up. Okay? Now, I understand that sometimes on the podcast I talk a little fast or I talk a little unclear. I get it. Usually when I do closet episodes, it gives me an opportunity to sort of break it down a little bit more, provide a little bit more in depth of my opinion, and be a little bit clearer on what I wanted to say or what I was saying. Okay. Now, a few people completely understood what I was saying. Okay. And some didn't. All right. This was my point about nostalgia. So if you didn't listen to last week's episode or see the clip that I posted on social media, I talked about how people need to get rid of that thought of nostalgia if you've already met your quota on that core memory on why you love that sneaker. Okay. Now I'm going to break it down in a way that maybe is a little bit easier for people to digest and understand what I meant by that. Okay. And the discussion was derivative of the OG Bread 1 releasing. Okay. The 85 high, whatever you want to call it. Right. So here's what I'm going to tell you. And you've listened to this podcast many times. And if you're a first-time listener, this is the first time you're going to hear this story. If you're a long-time listener, this is probably the 50th time you've heard this story. The Jordan 6 Black Infrared is the greatest Jordan of all time to me. To make a long story short, in LA, watching the finals in 91, 92, 90, 91, 92, whatever that was, that block, Lakers versus the Bulls. This is Jordan's first championship that he won. I'm watching the game for the Lakers, and plus, I was only allowed to stay up past my bedtime if I could convince my dad that I wanted to watch sports. So I said, no, I want to see the Lakers. I want to see the Lakers. Now, I was fully aware of Jordan sneakers. All the homies and everybody had Jordan sneakers. I had never really paid much attention to Jordan playing actual basketball. Okay? That was my first time sitting down in the recliner with my dad to watch the Lakers, and watching this other guy by the name of Michael Jordan wearing the number 23 was one of the most amazing things I'd ever watched. My dad said, I'm getting you Jordans. Now, my mom was quite angry because Jordans back then in my size, I think were probably like $45, $35. That was a lot back then. Okay. There's my core memory. That's my core memory of the black infrared Jordan 6. That's around 91, 92. Okay. I had them. Cool. They retroed in 2000. The 2000 version of the black infrared 6 is the greatest version of the infrared 6 of all time. And it's not even close. It's even better than the OG. I don't care what it. It's on par with the OG from the 90s. Okay. I traveled far and wide in the state of Arizona to find me a pair of size 9.5 retro Jordan 6 black infrared 2000s, the 2000 version. Found them at West Ridge, Desert Sky Mall, Foot Locker. One pair left, my size. It was about 8 o'clock at night. Hey, pal, do you happen to have these in a 9.5? You probably don't. Yeah, we got them. Heart stopped. Copped immediately, wore them to the ground. I bought them in 2000 because of that core memory of me and my dad watching the Bulls and Lakers. Cool. Then they retroed the pack, the infrared pack, the black and the white infrared in 2010. I bought the pack. It's the greatest Jordan of all time to me, so I bought the pack. Didn't care much for the white infrared, but why not? I have mental illness and hooked on sneakers. I bought the pack. I bought the pack because I love the black infrared 6 so much, and I'm still hanging on to that core memory with my dad watching the Bulls and Lakers. Now, this pack came out in 2010, and I'm still buying it with the thought of 1991 in my head. Not a big deal. I'm still in college, so I'm still pretty young, okay? I bought the pair for 2000, like my last year of high school, I think. I can't remember high school. I don't remember. I think I graduated in 2000. So I bought it. I bought the 2000 pair while still in high school. Then I bought the 2010 pack while I was in college. Then they retroed in 2014. Now, I had beat my 2000 pair unwearable at this point. They were cracked, unwearable, cool. I still got them. You got to keep them. They had the Nike Air on the back and all that. Cool. The infrared pack didn't. The infrared pack didn't have the Nike Air on the back. I ain't tripping. Then they retroed in 2014. That's 4 years after the pack. I bought 6 pairs. For me. Not to resell. I bought 6 pairs for me because I needed them. Greatest Jordan of all time. I've talked about it on this podcast. I golfed in a pair. I worked out in a pair. I ran in a pair. I wore a pair. I don't even know. I still got them. One of the pairs I think is in my golf bag. These are facts. I bought 6 pairs in 2014. Didn't have the Nike Air on the back, and the infrared didn't really hit like infrared should have, but I had to have them. I bought that in 2014, still hanging on the thought of 1991. I watched the Bulls with Dad. Then they retroed in 2019 again. Guess who bought them again? You know why? Because then they fixed the infrared and put the Nike Air back on the back. I bought 2 pairs. Now, I will tell you this. You know what? That's what I did. I sold 2 of the 6 and bought 2 of the other ones, and that's what I did. I was going to sell all of the 6 from 2014 I got and then buy a bunch of the 2019s, but the value had went so low on the 2014 pairs because the 2019s were coming out. I was like, forget it. It doesn't matter. I'm not wearing any. I couldn't tell you the last time I wore a black infrared 6. And it's the greatest Jordan of all time to me. I couldn't tell you the last time I wore one, but I'm still buying. Now, for the 2019 pair, I didn't buy those off that core memory from 1991. I just bought them because, god dang it, they fixed them and they put the Nike on the back. Cool. They're getting ready to retro again in 2026. And these are supposed to be like the real version. I can't tell you that I'm not going to buy them, but I'm definitely not going to buy them hanging on to that thought of, I was watching the Bulls with Dad in 91. That's what I mean. I've already met my quota for that core memory. I bought a pair in 2000. I bought the pack in 2010. I bought 6 pairs in 2014. I bought 2 pairs in 2019. I met my quota for that core memory. I am 42 years old now. Yeah, 42. There is no way I'm going to be still today in 2025 or 2026 saying, yo, I must have these because when I was a little kid in 3rd grade, grow up. That's just my opinion. And that's what I meant. I'm not saying you can't have the thought of a nostalgia. I'm not sitting around at 43 and going, yo, I gotta cop these because when I was in 1st grade, fam, I'm 43. 1st grade was literally for 1st grade was literally about 35 years ago. How old do you got to be in 1st grade? I don't even know. 6? That's the point I meant. Do what you want with it. Do whatever you want with my opinion, all right? But that's what I meant, and I'm right. I'm just joshing you. What else did I want to talk about today? Oh, the New Balance that came out today. Now, I wouldn't have probably talked about this New Balance that came out today really because honestly, I really don't care about it. I think it's fire. I like the model. I like the color. Um, but I saw a lot of people on social media, preferably mostly Twitter, complaining about how much they were. I even think George or Andy, somebody put in one of the threads that they couldn't believe basically that this Salehi Bembury New Balance 991 V2 is the purple color, whatever the nickname for it is. Salehi Bembury joint was $275. That's without shipping. I think shipped was around $283. Okay. They couldn't believe it. And honestly, to me, I was like, I think I was a little bit more perturbed by. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to say I was perturbed. I think it really showed me people who pay attention to anything else besides Nike and uh, and Jordan Brand. New Balances have always been expensive. Okay, so just to preface this, uh, you you're making a big deal out of nothing. That price range for a New Balance, and here's why. Okay, New Balances have always been expensive. Period. Okay, now this is my opinion. You do whatever you want with it. New Balance has always been expensive. Okay, now I'm going to talk about me personally. I have never ever picked up a New Balance sneaker and thought this wasn't the highest of quality. And I never one time said to myself, this isn't worth 235, 250. Never. We have a lot of FIG New Balances. We got a lot of Concept New Balances. We got a lot of GR New Balances. I've never one time picked up a New Balance and ever questioned the quality and never questioned the price point, to be honest with you. Even though they were on the higher end, I never questioned it. Now, this is what bothers me about everybody on social media complaining about the New Balance being $275. Cats barely blinked an eye at the thought of paying $250 for a black red OG 85 high. Barely batted an eye. When the original price point of $250 came out for the Jordan 1 high, people were like, dang, that's insane. But that faded away quick once they realized that it was limited and not everybody's going to be able to get their hands on it. I've probably, not just me, people listening to this podcast and people that come on this podcast on a regular basis, I've picked up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Jordans and Nikes and thought, good God, the quality on this is awful. And this is no way I pay 200 plus for this. Plenty of times. I've never done that for a New Balance. This New Balance Salehi Bembury, this purple joint, it's better than a Bread One High OG 85 in 2025. It's a shoe that majority of us right now should be wearing and are probably wearing on a regular basis. See, people miss out on the understanding and the real flyness of New Balance and Asics and Sauconys and things like that is the fact that it is top tier quality. They come out with stylish colorway blocking, unique colorways at times, and they're for your everyday, all the time wear. Just like your Air Maxes. That's what they're for. But see, people still look at New Balance and Sauconys and Asics like a specialty, like something you go to Spencer's and buy. It's not. It is the top tier of quality in sneakers. So I'm not going to be listening to you cats run around talking about you need 1985 Jordan 1 highs for $250, but you're going to complain about a stupid, high-quality, fire model and dope colorway of a Salehi Bembury New Balance? Stop it. I'm not listening to it. You guys talk way too much about the wrong thing, okay? You do. Now, I'm not copying. I'll tell you this. I planned on copying that New Balance. I did. But I didn't realize I was going to want these Jordan 4 Nigels as bad as I want them. Okay? So I'm like, let me chill for a second. Okay? I mean, shoot. I may return these books. That's about $150 right there for them. To put on the books on something else. The bricks or Salehis, whatever I want to do with that. But stop complaining about the wrong things. You should have complained and posted and reposted and shared and wrote your think pieces on why a Bread One from 1985 is $250. That's what you should have been doing. I'm not interested in your tweets about why a high quality New Balance, a unique New Balance, is as high as it is. This is the only color of this a bread, huh? You know how many times we bought something that's bread? I got 3 pairs of bread lows. I got bread highs. Shout out to the homie Don. I've had band 1 highs. Stop it. People really need to evaluate what they're complaining about and looking at when it comes to sneaker culture. You really do. What else? I'm not sure if everybody saw the SGA lifestyle sneaker. He sort of unveiled it. He unveiled his actual signature sneaker as well, both made by Converse. The sneaker itself, it's a Shai Gildress Alexander, whatever his name is. He's Canadian. Relax, Canadians. Relax. I'm just joking. He's been out seeing about wearing this. It looks like a soccer turf shoe. It's, I think, most likely was being heralded as his potential lifestyle sneaker that will probably release at some point. It has his logo on the tongue and things like that. And when I saw it, I didn't think it was bad, but it brought up the question to me. And this is a question that we talked about. Man, I'm talking probably in the first 100 episodes of this podcast. When Ryan was on, we talked about whether or not Nike athletes should always come out with a lifestyle version sneaker as well as their basketball or whatever sport they play. If you guys don't remember, and I can't remember what it's called, I have one in here. I have the all red one. It was and I did an unboxing on it on one episode in the closet. It's a Kevin Durant. I'm not getting it. It's a Kevin Durant and it looked like a moccasin, like a Native American sort of like woven. It had strings on the side. I had the all red version. This is when all red sneakers were in, and I thought, yo, a casual, all suede, stupid quality, had a translucent red sole on the bottom, ridiculously high quality. I got them, wore them one time, and thought these were ridiculous. Put them in the closet, never looked at them again. I think Simple bought them with me at the same time. I think maybe George bought them too. I think he had maybe like 3 colorways of them. Here's the thing about lifestyle sneakers with signature athletes, okay? I know I've talked about this a million times on this show, and we've talked about it numerous times in the past and in the present, all right, as of recently. It's not easy designing a sneaker, okay? Most of these cats that are in the fashion SGA, he's one that's considered, one of, if not the best dressed in the NBA, okay? If you pay attention to stuff like that, okay? They wear a lot of other brands and, fancy stuff and, very expensive stuff and other type of sneakers besides athletic sneakers all the time. These are athletes, they're not designers. If you look at the SG model, and I have it right here on the screen in the graphic, it looks like a Nike Total 80. I believe that's what it is. Or a Gato, which are like indoor soccer turf sneakers. It looks just like them. Now, yes, Converse is owned by Nike, so they share all the probably same distribution and warehouses and factories and all that stuff. But at the same time, when you give somebody an opportunity, and we've talked about this being a designer, I talked about it about with Mosh and how difficult it is to create something original. You're always going to go and refer to something that you kind of like. It's just a natural thing. It's really hard to do something from scratch. Look at LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball has some Pumas that are casual sneakers. I think they're called like the La France or something like that. They're big and puffy. I mean, they look just like what's that brand called? Not Balmain. Um Maybe it is Balmain. I don't remember. They got the fat laces. It's the very expensive sneaker that everybody was wearing, big and puffy. Looks like a skater shoe with the big laces across it. Maybe it starts with a V. I can't remember. Not Balmain, not Balenciaga. I don't remember what they were. That's all he knows. He knows from the luxury high-end brand, and he just created a Puma version of that with a little bit of a twist. If you look at the SGA lifestyle sneaker, you go, fam, this is just a Nike Total 80 or a Gato, because that's all he knows. Now, do I feel like athletes need lifestyle sneakers? Fam, there are only so many NBA cats, and cats in the NBA who are like really, actually, I won't say in the fashion, where you look at them and go like, oh, I like what they're wearing. Okay. I think Luca has a lifestyle sneaker coming out with Jordan Brand. I don't even know what Luca looks like in regular clothes. Like, I honestly couldn't tell you. I know I've seen him on the bench injured before, and I've seen him at a press conference, but in my mind right now, I couldn't even tell you what his regular clothes look like. So Luca in a lifestyle sneaker, huh? Now I get it for a SGA. I would get it for a Westbrook. I would get it for a Kyle Kuzma. I think he does have like a lifestyle sneaker with Puma, but they're not going to be able to reach for anything that's creative. They're only going to be able to reach for what they know. Their basis for what they design are going to be things that they know and things that they like. And then when we get them and see them, we go, I don't think they suck, but it looks just like this. It looks just like this. It looks just like this. I got the graphic on the screen. The SGA sneaker, lifestyle sneaker, there's no name for it yet, or at least I haven't seen one. I'm assuming it's made by Converse, which I think it 100% is. I look at it and go, if I didn't buy the Total 80, I think it's Total 80, Total 90, Total 80s. If I didn't buy Total 80s, I got some Gatos, but they're beat down from back in the day. If I want this look, I'm going to go buy a Total 80 or a Gato. I'm not going to buy an SGA lifestyle sneaker. If you're a signature athlete or if you're a designer, anybody, you never want to design something similar to another version. All you're going to do is just make that person love the thing that they passed on. I look at the SGA and I go, oh, shoot, I like the way he wore those. I like the way he wears his lifestyle sneaker. If I go buy a Total 80 or a Gato, I could wear it the same way because I'm not buying that. I'd rather buy the Total 80 or the Gato. To me, okay? That's my opinion. That's what I feel. But I don't know. Cats, I'm not in the basketball circuit and stuff like that. And when I see cats hooping, I see a lot of these signature sneakers that I think no one's buying. People are wearing them. They hoop. Hoopers wear them. All right. But I'm sneakerhead. Sneakerheads think that like if they don't wear it, then nobody's wearing it. And we got to get out of that mindset because we know it's not true. All right. So I don't know, man. Shout out to SGA. Probably win MVP this season. Maybe. I personally think Jokic should get it. I mean, he's doing things I've never seen before. He in one game he had 2 triple doubles. Like he had 30, 20, and 20. That's 2 triple doubles. Like that's insane. Like getting 10, 10, and 10 is hard. He got 30, 20, and 20. It's never been done before. What else? Oh, Jordan 4 brick by bricks. I told you I talk about them. I see a lot of people, and we've talked about this numerous times on the podcast when it came into other years about other sneakers. I see a lot of people already calling the Jordan 4 brick by brick Nigel joint sneaker of the year. I've only seen a few potential sneaker of the year nominee. I've only seen a couple of those. I've seen a lot of sneaker of the year, period. Now, typically when we have this discussion around this time of year early on about a sneaker that comes out and it's something that blows our socks off, we think, we have to have this discussion on the podcast. And typically we say it's only March, relax, or definitely a nominee, would definitely be one to consider at the end of the year. And sometimes when we do sneaker awards, it's still considered. And sometimes it even still prevails, all right, as sneaker of the year. I will tell you this right now, okay? And I don't know if I've ever felt this strongly about this or ever said this about any other sneaker this early, but this Jordan 4 Nigel Sylvester brick by brick is sneaker of the year, period. I don't care what comes out the rest of this year. I don't know, and I've talked about this with a bunch of people. I don't know one person who doesn't want this. Let me tell you, George has entered a bunch of raffles. George from this podcast, he's entered a bunch of raffles. That's how you know this is sneaker of the year. When it comes to sneaker news and stuff like that, we already know what's like on the horizon for the rest of the year. Now, obviously, Nike and other brands, they freak out a little joint that we didn't see or didn't expect. You know, we go, ooh, that's crazy. I don't know one person who doesn't want these. Not one. I haven't heard one person. The closest person was Don, and I think he just thought the model was something different. I haven't heard one person say these are whack. I know multiple people who've already paid the GOAT price, who've already paid the StockX price. They were like, I can't take it. I can't take this L. I've already set my price for paying the resale, and I don't care. I'm going to pay it. I am going to make sure I lose all my raffles. I'm going to make sure I lose on Sneakers app first, and then I'm going to get on there, and then I'm going to buy them. It's not even a question, okay? The only thing I need to figure out is what in this closet I'm going to sell to get those, to just circumference the price of the Nigel brick by brick. It is sneaker of the year, period, and I'm not budging. So when you listen to this podcast in January and we do Sneaker Awards and we talk about Jordan of the Year and we talk about Sneaker of the Year, guess what my pick is? It's the Jordan 4 Nigel Sylvester. It is one of the dopest 4s ever. It may be a top 5 Jordan 4 all time already to me. To me. Multiple different materials on it. A colorway on a sneaker that we've never seen before. I think there's a couple of maybe New Balances out there that got that brick red, like that desert clay. I think one of the Figs, the Frank Lloyd Wright Fig, sort of has that same color to it. But on a Jordan 4? Now, I don't know the story behind this, and I don't care. Cats are committing train robberies for these joints. I put in raffles for the clothes. I couldn't tell you the last time I bought a piece of Michael Jordan clothing. That's how long it's been. I call it Michael Jordan clothing. I don't even call it Jordan clothing. I put in the raffles for the brick by brick clothing. That's how fire this is. I'm copping something. What did Denzel say? I'm leaving here with something. I figure, well, I can get the clothes and I'm going to pay for the resale price of the. I'm getting something. You will see them joints when they get to my house. They're going on my feet immediately. Them joints ain't hanging out in the garage. They're not hanging out in the back of the trunk. I'm not going to sit there and look at them and think, do I want them? No thanks. On my foot immediately. Black pants. If you think you don't want these, you're lying to yourself. If you're trying to say that these are whack, you're lying to yourself. If I hear anybody say they're whack in my presence, just go ahead and block me. I'm not going to block you because I don't block people. But go ahead and block me. You understand me? What else did I want to talk about? Not a long episode today. Like I said, man, for those who do sneaker podcasts, you've probably seen it. There's not a lot to talk about. Actually, a couple more things, I guess. Amamanyera got robbed again in Atlanta. Or broken into, burglarized, whatever. I think they broke into their looking for Nigel Fours. I think. I don't know. I haven't read the news about it, but that was the first thing I thought. Honestly, Amamanyera, this is like the 5th time they've been burglarized in Atlanta. You need to leave Atlanta. Atlanta, I'm sorry, you don't deserve Amamanyera store. Sorry, I don't care how that sounds. A black-owned business that really big ups black women a lot, continuously being burglarized in the blackest city in America. Maybe DC. Maybe Baltimore. I don't know. The fact that a black-owned business in Atlanta, sneaker boutique, that is always big up in black women, keeps getting broken into. I don't care if it's an inside job. I don't care if it's some young YNs running around. I don't care. Atlanta, you don't deserve Amamanyera. And I know I give Amamanyera a hard time about a lot of stuff, all right? But guess what? Amamanyera, James Whitaker, man, whatever your name is, pick that store up and take it to somewhere else. Take it to Savannah. Take it to Beverly Hills. Atlanta doesn't want you because they would treat you better. And I don't care how this sounds. I'm getting tired of things like that happening. I'm just tired of wrong people. Stop being wrong. Stop being bad. It's just unnecessary. That's pretty much it. Got nothing else. Oh, you know what? I did want to touch on and talk about short episode. Only an hour, maybe less than an hour. I did want to talk about something real quick, and I don't want to beat this. I don't want to beat a dead horse. Okay. I put this episode out later than I anticipated in the hopes to just kind of touch on this topic about sneaker Twitter again. I got probably around 5 to 7 DMs on Twitter from people telling me or asking me, have I been following, and I don't remember anybody's name, following the news of some guy who lost his job as a teacher because somebody called in saying something. I don't even know what the argument is about. I don't know. At least 4 of the messages I got had a name of a person that they, I don't want to say think, or they seem like they're pretty confident in knowing who got this guy fired. Okay? And I'm going to be honest with you. I believe that. I believe it's that person. I do. And I believe it's that person based off things I've seen on social media they've said, things that I've heard they said, and things that they claim that they do or would do. So I believe it's this person. The only reason why I'm not saying this person's name, or I didn't say it online when I made that post, is because I have no proof. I am not a fan. I don't slander anybody if I don't have proof. I will slander you when I see it and know you did it, and I will go direct this right at you. Now, I did make the post and respond to a few DMs stating, I don't even know the cat that claims he got fired. I seen a couple videos of this cat and he is top tier corny. But that's just sneaker social media. I mean, he's top tier corn on the cob. So I don't really know who to believe, because I could see a person like him making up that story, making it up to just be an internet story. There is no better way to get attention on social media than to just make up something for sympathy, make up something for rage bait, rage clicking, whatever you want to call it. So I'm not saying that it's not true, but I also don't believe him either. I don't believe anybody. This is my advice to a lot of you. A lot of you have developed way deeper relationships with people, with internet strangers. Okay. I am a father. Some of you are parents. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I do everything in my power to make sure that my kids aren't mistakenly or somehow on the internet talking to some weirdo that they think that they know because of something. They like Roadblocks. They like Pokemon. They're my friends. I'm talking to them. I make sure that they don't ever have that opportunity to do so. I can only stop it for so long, but I do everything in my power to make sure I shut that down. Some of you talk to each other way too much on the internet. There is like the line between, hey, you like sneakers, I like sneakers, to, hey, we're fam now, has disappeared. There are a select few people that I consider the actual homies. Actual homies. I could name all of them from the podcast. And I go, cool. I met them through the internet, through the podcast. We've talked a little bit more. I've got an understanding of their character. They have an understanding of mine. I consider them the homie. You cats will talk on Twitter with people who are strangers, but you think because you find common ground in something that you can spill your guts. You think you can have show emotion to these people. You think that you can share your thoughts with these people. You can't. These are internet strangers. These are thoughts. These are whores. These are weirdos. Stop getting into these heavy discussions. Stop getting into these debates. Stop getting into these arguments. Stop getting into these back and forth with people, especially if you can get your feelings hurt. Somebody asked me, they said, man, you and George be going in on people. I'm about to tell you guys the secret. Here's why me and George can say and do whatever we feel like, and pretty much And I'm not going to say get away with it because we understand that, hey, maybe one day somebody may try me, may try us. Maybe. I don't know. But let me tell you why on the internet, I can get away with a lot of the junk and stuff that I talk about on the podcast and on the internet. One is because I direct it straight at the people that I talk to. That's one. And two, me and George, you can't hurt our feelings. You can't hurt our feelings. We don't have feelings like that. George and I, there's probably only, I'm sure George has one person. I could think of that one person. I have one person in my life who could hurt my feelings. I'm pretty sure George know who the one person in my life who can hurt my feelings, and I'm pretty sure I know the one person in his life that can hurt his feelings. And guess what? It ain't none of you internet strangers. So, a word of advice for people before you start thinking that somebody's fam. They're not. Stop spilling your guts to them about your personal life. Stop giving them your phone number. You know what? That's another thing. You gotta really know somebody and really have an understanding of the type of person these people are before you start giving your phone number out. Period. Period. There is about 8 people I may text from the podcast, and that's over 10 years, 8 people that I text. And it was a vetting process. They may not have known they've been getting vetted, but I've been vetting, and I hope they've been vetting me. These are people that I go, okay, I could trust them, and I hope that they can trust me. Stop telling people your business. Stop getting arguments with people. Let me tell you something. I got no problem starting an argument, but you never see me go back at nobody. I don't be spending much back and forth on the internet. I make my point, you make your point, and you never hear from me again. At least not that day. Maybe later down the road. Stop it. I got nothing else for anybody. Appreciate everybody who likes, subscribes, share this podcast. We will be back next week. 2 weeks in a row, back to back. Don't forget, go to shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. Use the promo code SNEAK, SNEAK. Get yourself 40% off that order and free shipping off your Mando starter pack. I'm telling you, it's hot out here. All right? Get your body right. That's the Sneak Diss. Pow.